Hello. In this video, we'll talk about what basic academic English oral proficiency means and what it takes to reach functional academic English oral proficiency on the AEPA. Let's review the description of basic from the Office of Language Assessment website. The basic speaker may be able to communicate simple academic ideas, though frequent errors in pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary may require an attentive listener. The speaker cannot support an opinion or hypothesize. Miscommunication may occur as a result of insufficient listening comprehension skills. Basic speakers can communicate in casual English-speaking environments, but may have some difficulty discussing ideas in a professional or university setting. In addition, basic speakers can describe personal interests and everyday topics, speak about community topics, tell stories and discuss future plans, and use communication strategies, for instance, clarification questions, to reduce miscommunication. However, basic speakers may use incorrect vocabulary or word forms, produce confusing grammar errors, have trouble forming WH questions, hesitate frequently before speaking, have occasional problems with listening comprehension, rely occasionally on memorized chunks of language, have some difficulty narrating or describing topics at length or in detail, and finally, basic speakers may have pronunciation that is influenced by their additional languages. If you're watching this video, your goal may be to reach a functional academic English oral proficiency the next time you take the AEPA. The Office of Language Assessment describes the functional speaker as follows. A functional speaker may be able to communicate academic ideas in some detail in a limited number of contexts. Language breakdown may occur when discussing abstract or formal topics. Errors in grammar and pronunciation may require repetition or restatement for clarity. A quick note. Some test takers prepare papers with answers to possible AEPA questions ahead of time. These notes, in addition to being against the rules, usually distract test takers, leading to a lower quality performance overall. Remember, the AEPA is a real conversation, which means it's not possible to study for it the way one might for a TOEFL or IELTS exam. The best way to earn a better score is to improve your spoken language skills. There's just no shortcut. What can you do to earn a higher score the next time you take an AEPA? And more importantly, how can you improve your oral academic English? Here are some suggestions. Read. Believe it or not, reading regularly can really improve your speaking. Read something in English that you enjoy for at least 30 minutes a day. This can be a graphic novel, a soccer website, a fashion magazine, or a novel for teenagers. Reading will improve your vocabulary and your ability to choose the correct word form. Because even simple magazines and websites include examples of complex grammar forms, reading will help you internalize these structures too. In addition to casual reading, search for and read a few entries from the Encyclopedia Britannica website each day. You can read about anything: science, history, the natural world, and so on. The entries are informative and accessible. Practice at home. If you have a roommate, partner, or a family member who is also learning English, make a special arrangement. Ask if you can designate one room in your house, for example, the kitchen or the living room, as an English-only zone. If you prefer, you could have English-only days in which, like it sounds, you communicate exclusively in English. Remember, it's okay if your language partner has problems with English. Practice, not perfection, is what's important. Regular practice will help your performance the next time you take the AEPA, and more importantly, will improve your overall speaking ability. Utilize the community. The people in your town or city can help you practice English. If there's a university in your neighborhood that hosts English-speaking students, inquire about a language conversation exchange program. There are likely absolute beginners from your hometown who would like an English tutor. Consider finding volunteer opportunities to assist people who are just starting to learn English. Explaining language to another person can really help you think deeply about it. Many cities around the world have an active community of English speakers. If you have access to English-speaking community where you live, consider organizing a community tour for newcomers or starting a podcast in which you interview visiting English speakers. Watch movies and TV online. Many shows online have optional English subtitles. Choose an enjoyable show that you have read about or seen before in one of your additional languages. Watch the show again with the audio and the subtitles in English. Be sure to read these subtitles while the characters speak. This activity will help strengthen your listening comprehension skills. Practice English with online resources. Start to find an English improvement meetup group online. Voice of America and the British Broadcasting Corporation's Learning English are great for test takers aiming for a functional score. In addition, watch TED videos in English with the English subtitles. Listen to a StoryCorps interview, reading along with the transcriptions when you need extra help. Strengthen all types of listening skills. Practice top-down listening, for example, understanding the main ideas in an instructional video, as well as bottom-up listening, for example, understanding an email address that is read to you. Here's an example of top-down listening practice. Watch a 5-minute video on job interviews in the United States and summarize it in 2 sentences. Here's an example of bottom-up listening practice. Listen to a short passage over and over again and try to write down every word you hear. Consider purchasing a listening and note-taking instructional textbook. Lecture-ready, Contemporary Topics, and National Geographic's listening and note-taking skills feature realistic lectures with top-down and bottom-up listening practice. Remember, even lifelong, proficient English speakers cannot understand everything all the time. The main goal is to comprehend the essential part of what the speaker is trying to communicate to you. For example, a phone number, a flight time, or the gist of a lecture. The more you surround yourself with English, the easier it will be to guess whatever information you missed. As you watch and listen to programs online, practice listening for tone and emphasis. How does the meaning of this sentence change when each word is emphasized? I never said she stole my money. 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 Get the idea? Review vocabulary. Some learners have an easier time recalling the meaning of a vocabulary word when seeing it as opposed to hearing it. Download the new General Service List, which contains 2,800 of the most common words in English. Next, download the new Academic Word List, called the NAWL, with inflected forms. Examine both lists carefully. Eliminate the words you know without a doubt when you hear them and when you read them. With a highlighter, mark the words you sort of know and the words you don't know. Make flashcards featuring these medium and challenging vocabulary words. On the front of the card, write the target word. On the back, include the pronunciation and definition. Whenever you have a few free minutes, review these flashcards, saying the word on each card out loud. Practice question formation. Question formation is a common problem even for advanced speakers. Problems forming questions can result in a lower AEPA score. Practice your verb tenses. To earn a functional score, you do not have to speak with perfect tense choice all the time, but of course, the more accurate you are, the better. Review present, present continuous, past, present perfect, and future tenses. Review your modals, especially can, could, may, should, have to, and need to. Work on making your pronunciation more intelligible to listeners. Your English pronunciation may be influenced by your additional languages. If your last tester noted that your pronunciation could be distracting in a professional North American setting, consider the following. Tongue twisters are nonsense phrases and sentences that are difficult to say. Susie sells seashells by the seashore, or Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers are two English tongue twisters. Repeating tongue twisters is a great way to exercise your mouth. Make sure to warm up your mouth with a few tongue twisters before an important presentation or speaking test. Find someone reading Fox and Socks, a famous tongue twister book, online. Follow along with the narrator, trying to imitate the pronunciation you hear. Read along with subtitles during any video in English, for example, from TED, Hulu, Netflix, or YouTube. Try your best to imitate the speaker. Chances are, the more exaggerated you make the sounds, the easier it will be for listeners to understand you. Read poems, song lyrics, or children's books to improve your rhythm in English. Follow along as actors read children's books online. After practicing, read some children's books in English to your own kids or nieces and nephews. Acting exercises can help improve your pronunciation and confidence. Try this. Find a short dialogue to perform with a friend. Go outside to a busy, noisy street. Ask your friend to stand on one side of the street while you stand on the opposite side. Shout the lines of the dialogue to one another. North American English speakers do not typically pronounce all sounds as they appear in writing. Practice reduction. I will becomes I'll, and she is becomes she's, for example. Review past tense verb endings. Review S pronunciation. Remember your new general service list and new academic word list vocabulary cards? When reviewing these, hold onto a rubber band. Pull the rubber band during the stressed syllable of each word. It may sound silly, but this exercise really helps people remember when to stress syllables. Finally, here are some great online pronunciation resources. We wish you the best of luck as you continue to improve your academic English.